It's time for the Drugless Doctor. Call a friend or family member now and let them benefit from today's exciting and life-changing program. If you want to lead a healthier life, the time is now.
Hello, this is Dr. Bob and Dr. Anthony DiMaria. I'd like to welcome you once again to another episode of The Drugless Doctor. Thank you for joining us. I'd love you to go to our website, which is druglessdoctorsdrs.com, and navigate around, and you could Google Dr. Bob, and there's so much information that we have available. Our goal, our passion is to educate our worldwide clients and friends so you can make healthier and wiser choices. And we have a very special guest today that I know is going to share a very interesting testimony and impact your life forever. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Anthony.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you, Marty, for coming on with us today so we can tell a little bit about your story, because I know that there's just so much to share because we've had great experiences and successes of being able to help you. So why don't you go ahead and talk to us a little bit about how you came into contact with us and what actually motivated you to go and see us speak the first time you interacted with us?
Well, one day I was at school between classes, since I teach, and I walked by a TV set, and some people would say it's kind of serendipitous. I think it's God calling, but I walked by, and there was a local Cleveland channel, and at the bottom it said "Cure ADHD naturally." And I said, well, okay, I'm kind of interested in that. I was diagnosed with that when I was in my 40s, and tried to do this druglessly, and it had mixed results. So I'm always up to listening to this. So I sat down and listened, and there was this doctor there, Dr. Bob, was on the TV and talked about it, and talked about fats and trans fats and all these things. So at the end of the program, he said, well, we'll be having an educational event at a Whole Foods in Cleveland. So the next week we went. And that was a long drive for us. It's 70 miles or so over there.
One way.
One way, yes. And we, my wife and I sat through that, and there was a chance to do an evaluation after that in the office, and we took advantage of that.
So I have to say that was over 4 years ago that actually took place. So 4 years, and as far as we've been able to come in 4 years, I don't think that you would have ever had an idea that it wasn't just ADHD. It was a part of what we were working with you, but I could just go over a laundry list of items that we've been able to work with you through our office. So one of the things that you just mentioned, you came in, you had an evaluation. Dr. Bob, Dr. Kateson, and myself, we're all trained as chiropractors. What chiropractors we work with is the nervous system. If the brain's not talking to your body like it's supposed to, it impacts all aspects of your health and healing. So stemming from chiropractic care, we really started evaluating Marty in a whole bunch of different areas. We did weight loss programs in our office that Marty participated in for 3 different years because he wanted to obtain a level of accountability that would help him maintain a weight that he wanted to. So I know that we have just some really great topics to discuss, but I'll just share some of your recent successes of what we were just able to accomplish with you. So when we started a program here about 2 or 3 months ago with Marty, he eventually lost over 10 pounds, close to 15, lost 9 pounds of fat and about 3 inches on his waistline. So, those are just some of the small tidbits that we've been able to steward with Marty, but we've worked with him chiropractically with weight loss, which we'll talk a little bit about. We've also helped some of his extremity challenges that he was having for a variety of different reasons. But it all works together to treat the whole person, to allow healing to take place from above, down, and inside out. So
Absolutely.
Out of all of those, tell us about your experience, because I know that we were talking off camera that this was your first chiropractic experience. You'd never experienced chiropractic before. And tell us a little bit about what it was like coming in from the very beginning and how you've progressed to where you're at now.
Well, I came in and did the evaluation, and I got to say, everyone is in the office has always been super friendly. They know your name. right after, as soon as you start going there, they know you by name and always greet you in a friendly way. I was kind of surprised. I didn't know how chiropractic worked. I went in and it was an open office situation where everybody can see what's going on. I guess I was kind of surprised by that.
Well, we did do your exam in private, though.
Oh yes, the exam's in private, but the adjustments are all in public. And I kind of always thought that when you went to the chiropractor, you know, you went back in the back room and they turned you into a pretzel, sort of, and you came out and, you know, on to the next, kind of like a traditional doctor would do. And it's not that way. And just hearing the interaction between the doctors and the patients is an educational tool also.
Well, I'm going to stop you right there. And one of the things that you just said, Marty, was really important. Now, we have a lot of people that come and see us for a variety of different things. We have pregnant moms and little babies, and we have sports athletes that are in the office. We got people that are in their 20s all the way up to their 90s. And what you just said something that was really important, and we've mentioned this on programs before, is we take people from being practice members to participants. But we do that through personalized strategies, because what's going on with Marty is very different than is going on with somebody else. So we cater what we do with our chiropractic adjustments, with our specific nutrition, with our weight loss programs and our dietary suggestions based on what's going on with Marty. Because Marty's very different than John, who's very different than Sally, and we want to make sure that we can go over exactly what's going on with them. And I think that that's something that you've really got to experience in multiple different areas in our office.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I just have enjoyed being able to work with you because you continue to apply the information that we talk about. So what would you say has been some of the biggest things that have changed for you over the years?
Well, I'd say, first of all, awareness in what it is that I eat and put in my body. One of the big awarenesses, I guess, is the need for water, and we talk about that all the time, and how much water we should be taking in.
That's really important.
That is important.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the exercise that you do and how that impacts your body and how we're able to help keep you on, let's say, the playing field of life.
Well, just the last 4 years, it has changed my life. Just being with this practice has changed my life, and it's made my life a lot better. I'm more into exercise. I try and exercise at least every day, but I'm not always successful at that. Life gets in the way of those kind of things. But you know, we walk places now that we used to drive to. Just things like that.
I was going to ask about ADHD. So you came to see us or heard me speak at Whole Foods, and you saw myself on Channel 8. And then, I don't know, did you ever watch us on this segment?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, that's good.
I DVR'd every week. So.
You always learn something new. So how about so you're a college instructor, and you happen to be a part of the whole IT experience, which really means you got to be sharp. I can't believe first that you were ADHD or are ADHD or whatever that is. So how has that changed over time that we've been working with you for the last couple of years?
What has changed? You know, when you first started talking about things like trans fat and high fructose corn syrup, those were not in vogue then. But I got off of those kind of things very quickly, and so and I try to do my best at doing essential fatty oils too. And so it has changed my life. Just everything. I move better. I can keep up with my wife now, you know.
And that's really important. You know what's going to be really interesting for Marty is because he's using the oil, and for this case it's flax oil, that helps a fat in your brain called DHA, which is a long-chain fatty acid, which helps prevent, you ready for this, Marty? He won't have dementia, he won't have Alzheimer's, or depression, or anxiety. So it's a long term, because see, ADHD kids become ADHD adults, but not that you really become, you just are, and it just happens to be the physiology in his body. Before I turn this back over to Dr. Anthony, this is not a Zorro sword. This happens to be a chromed dipstick. You know, it's kind of funny, Marty, because you and I are from a very similar generation. You know, there are people out there today that don't even know that this is a dipstick because they don't have their oil done. They go to an oil lube place. Anyways, you could now measure the amount of oil in a person's body with an essential fatty acid blood spot test. So once again, wherever you're at, anywhere in the world, we can send you a kit that'll help us determine the oil like Marty's taken.
One of the things that I would like to go over here with Marty is your willingness to participate. So you've already discussed your willingness to drive, so you drive at least 40 minutes one way to come and see us. But in the office, we do different workshops, and one of the reasons why we do workshops is because we want people to get information that they can apply to their life so that they can be happier and healthier. And I know over the years that you've been an active participant in the workshops that we've had. Talk to us a little bit about some of the things that you learned and why you continue to come back.
Well, every month's a nice learning experience, and I've been lucky enough to be able to get over to go to the workshops and get an awesome adjustment at the same time. And there's always information given to us at the workshops that we can use. There's information that we all get at some times that we just take away and go, when we walk out the door, we just go, done, file it away, it's gone. But your information is always very usable. So.
Now, Marty, you could be talking to anybody in the world. What I want you to tell is if there was somebody that had never experienced chiropractic care before, why they should come and see us so that we can help them out. This is your time to talk a little bit about what we do.
Well, it's an awesome experience, and it's been a family experience for me. I'm part of the family, and we treat each other like family. I can accept what you tell me or not accept what you tell me, and it's just been life-changing.
Well, first of all, again, I just want to thank you for coming here with us today and being able to share your story. I know that it's going to impact so many people. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
I'm a chiropractor because my goal, my passion is to help people get better without medication.
There's different types of chiropractic. I wanted to be involved in something that was bigger than myself.
Sure, I would say it's been so much more than just seeing those lives transform. It's been being able to be a part of their transformation.
Wellness is a state of mental, social, and physical well-being.
Really, wellness is from the inside out, being able to have your body make the decisions on its own, naturally, without drugs, medications, or surgeries.
We work and strive at addressing each one of those different facets of wellness so that it's really a well-rounded overall approach for an individual.
I think the atmosphere is really very welcoming. I think all three really work well together as a team.
It's much more than you would find somewhere else. The individuality of it, the recommendations, the doctor's expertise.
We do not use a cookie cutter plan. Every person that comes into our office is very unique, and they have specific plans and treatment protocols specific for their findings.
Utilizing our innovative tools and technology, we're able to get the best results and faster, and it's really easy on the practice member, specifically with the thermal scans that we do. By measuring the ambient skin temperature, we're able to measure from each assessment how the pattern's changing.
We offer digital video fluoroscopy, motion films of a person's spine, getting right to the root cause.
From someone that was previously diagnosed with ADHD and was having developmental delays in speech, working with them here and seeing the transformation of them developmentally, other things, attention span, energy, colic, all these things that are improving over a period of time.
So whether it's a little baby that's getting adjusted for the first time, or a mom that's getting adjusted, or an athlete. It's really cool to see what we're able to do and how that can impact their life for the long term.
The two things, chiropractic care and nutrition, go hand in hand, and you really need both components. You can't just say, I'll do whatever I want nutritionally and then just have chiropractic care and Dr. Bob will just fix me. Really, you have to have both going together.
In our wellness store, we offer a variety of different products. They're all professional lines and products that are tried and true. We have many different types of evaluations and assessments that can tell us what supplement is going to be best for one of our practice members here in the office, so that we're just not throwing the dice when it comes to their health.
The Drugless Doctors is very forward-thinking. It's a lot different than anything else that I had ever seen before, so I felt like I was learning something new.
We have information on social media, our website, our blog. We do TV programs, so we're always putting out good quality information, because more often than not I hear from somebody, I never knew that, or I got that information from a magazine or a TV program and I never really knew that that wasn't correct.
So being able to give them simple tools and natural principles that they can be able to empower themselves to make every day, that's really, it's really exciting for me to be able to see people and their changed lifestyles.
Come and join us and participate with natural drugless chiropractic care. Hello, this is Dr. Bob, Dr. Anthony, and Dr. Casey DeMaria, and I'd like to welcome you once again to another episode of The Drugless Doctor. Do you have challenges focusing? Maybe you can't complete tasks. You're always running late, have more than one speeding ticket. Have you ever thought about ADHD? Have you been diagnosed with ADHD? Well, I wrote a book many, many years ago called Dr. Bob's Guide to Stop ADHD in 18 Days. And the 18 days happens to go along with the half-life of a good oil in your body called a cis fat, which is very common in flax oil. Right now, we have 8 million kids in America that have been told or diagnosed with ADHD. And ADHD kids, unless they make some appropriate and necessary lifestyle changes, become ADHD adults. Now, I'm not saying that Marty was an ADHD adult because he was a kid, but we have a major epidemic today of people that not only have ADHD, but there's an abuse. I was just reading in several of the journals that there's an abuse of Ritalin and other types of drugs today that people are selling illegally on the street to become more focused. This is a major challenge, and some of these drugs have some pretty devastating bad effects, and they've actually correlated Ritalin to be very similar to the same schedule type of drug as cocaine. So we're going to talk and have a little bit more conversation about Marty, what was going on in his life, and why it's significant that you can control and make a difference with your emotional and your brain thinking. Dr. Anthony.
Now, we were going over a lot of different things that we were able to do with Marty. Now, Marty primarily comes to see us because we're chiropractors, so we work with him chiropractically, and we also follow that up with some of the other areas that we were talking about. I know that at least twice a year, Marty gets some blood work done, and we evaluate his blood work for what nutrients that he might need as it changes throughout the course of the year. Also, we're able to help Marty stay physically fit because he's always actively exercising. So if there was something that he did that was impacting his performance, we're able to help make sure that he stays on the field and starts being able to do the things that he wants to do if there was something physically that was hindering his ability to do that. Another area which we didn't talk too much about was the weight loss programs that Marty was able to participate. Believe it or not, Dr. Bob, Dr. Casey, and myself have all co-authored a peer-reviewed research study on weight loss. And what we end up finding with participants of the studies over the last couple of years is someone participates in our program. The average weight loss is about 15 pounds in about a 10-week period. They also minimize their blood sugar changes and their function starts to change. Now, I know that in some of the other discussions we had with Marty, one of the biggest things that he enjoyed was accountability. Now, Dr. Kateson, talk to us about why accountability is so important, not only in weight loss, but in every aspect of your life when it comes to your health.
I think with accountability, that's one of the top things that people want to or they need assistance with, because a lot of people, most people know exactly what they may need to do, or maybe they're consuming too many of the wrong foods, or they know that they're not exercising, but they don't have that accountability factor when they leave wherever they are that they're setting their goals to really keep them on track. And I think what's really exciting about Marty is that you heard previously it was a family experience. So him and his wife went to Whole Foods to hear Dr. Bob talk about ADHD, and they both came into the office for their assessment. And now they're both under care. They're both on the same track of life, keeping each other accountable when they're grocery shopping, keeping each other accountable with their exercises. And even you can see how that's going to impact and enhance their marriage because they're on the same page. They both want the same things for each other. They both want to be healthy. They both, as far as their grandkids, their children, they're able to be on the same playing field to be able to make the most impact. And you can think of even the rippling effect of Marty being a teacher. Can you imagine having those experiences or symptoms of ADHD and maybe not being able to focus or concentrate, having difficulty with that, and then being able to, or having to teach? That really impacts all of those kids that are being taught. So think about the bigger thing of what's going on even in your own life. Where do you need to be accountable in your life? Is it the foods? Is it the exercise? What is it for you? It's different for everyone. Dr. Bob.
Well, you know, I'm going to go a little bit of a different venue right now because he made a very interesting comment about high fructose corn syrup. And yes, we are definitely very progressive in our thinking. We read journals and we are constantly listening and trying to get the very most out of all the information that's available. So I want you to become label savvy if you're not already. Look for high fructose corn syrup because high fructose corn syrup sabotages the normal eating hormones in your body. There's a hormone, and you could do a search on this, called leptin, L-E-P-T-I-N. Leptin tells your body you're full. There's another hormone called ghrelin. Ghrelin tells your body that you're hungry. So the epiphany for Marty was high fructose corn syrup increases ghrelin, quote, hungry, and it reduces leptin. So that means you're going to be in a constant state of hunger. And I know that many of you right now watching us are having an issue with what you're eating. You're eating too much and you're gaining weight, but you're always hungry and you can't figure out why. And you maybe have never thought that what you're eating is compounding the problem. Even look at applesauce. So if we are to make applesauce in our house, you hear what I just said, if we are to make applesauce in our house, we peel the apples, we cut them up, we saute them, and then we mash them with a masher, and that's applesauce. We don't eat it very often, but that's how you create applesauce. But if you go to a grocery store and you purchase applesauce, look at the sweetener. And if it has high fructose corn syrup in it, and that's a part of your meal, that high fructose corn syrup can sabotage your weight loss program. So this is important little nuggets to know because high fructose corn syrup is literally everywhere, including soda. He made one other comment, and that's the significance of trans fatty acid. Trans fatty acid or partially hydrogenated oil, so I'm trying to educate you a little bit. Look at the nutrition facts on the side of a box, and if it says partially hydrogenated oils, that's the same thing as trans fat. Trans fat stops your brain from making good oil for 51 days. That's the half-life of trans fat. So 51, and 51, you do the math, it's 102. So if you're having a Pop-Tart or a breakfast cereal or a pastry that's been made with trans fatty acid, that's going to impair